Hello and welcome back after a bit of a sabbatical, unscheduled I might add. But anyway, we're back, and this is the clock ticking edition in the background for those avid listeners. So anyway, this time around on Just 5 Minutes, we know about serverless, don't we? We've gone through that. We've had a look. You've got Azure serverless functions. You've got AWS Lambda, which is their serverless offerings. I'm sure Google's got theirs. I'm afraid I don't know about that one. But essentially, we all seem to think, well, from my discussions, seem to be aware of serverless functions and what they are. I did an episode back, I don't know, a couple of months or more about the Azure serverless functions and some of the great stuff you can do with that. But did you know that we can use serverless databases? Which sounds absolutely absurd in some ways, but it's on the Azure front anyway. It's been around, I don't know, October something 2019 or even earlier actually. And certainly on the sort of Amazon side of things as well. Again, I'm not leaving Google Cloud Compute out on purpose, but I tend to use Amazon, AWS and Azure mostly. So that'll teach me to go and do some research on Google Cloud Compute and others. But basically, yeah, database, serverless. So just to put some context around, I've been using an Azure SQL database for a year and a half at least. It's a very small database. It's only costing in UK money about £5 a month to run that. But it's running all the time, even though, I'll be honest, I haven't been using it all the time, but I'm too lazy to go and export the data, shut it down and then rescript it to bring it back up again. So for the sake of £5 a month, I've just left it running. But £5 a month, starts to tot up, doesn't it? Even that, whatever that is in dollars. Excuse me. We'll edit that cough out. But anyway, so the idea is the serverless offering on the database front means exactly like serverless functions or Lambda functions. When you're not using the database like Azure SQL, SQL database or Amazon Aurora serverless, and I'll come to that in a sec. The idea is you've got the ability to say shut down after an hour, after a day, things like that. And all you then pay for is the storage, which, let's face it, cloud storage these days is, so super cheap. I think in my example where I've been paying £5 per month, what is it, about $4 something US dollars, that would go down to, I don't know, sub 50p or 50 cents, to put it in context, because the database is only it's not even a couple of gig, but you know what I mean. It's in fact it's only megabytes in size at this stage, but even up to like 3, 5 or even 10 gig, it's minimal. And the great thing is, obviously, when you want to spin it back up, you get using it, you just connect. Now, the only thing is when you do connect, I don't know about Aurora, Amazon Aurora serverless database, but Azure, there's a few seconds, obviously, because it's warming up, on that first connection. So if this was obviously a production type of thing where you need it extremely fast, well, you wouldn't use this. But for my case with dev or for short burst type stuff that, and there's loads of websites that I know and work with that don't need the database to be running all the time. But the great thing is, you literally just pay for when that database is up. So Azure have got, it's a bit hard, I thought it was a bit hard to find. On Azure it's under their general tier, but it's a serverless pricing. And Amazon Aurora, to my knowledge at the moment, doesn't have Microsoft SQL, but they certainly have MySQL and Postgres. And it works in virtually the same way. So that is actually really good to know. If you want a low-cost solution, but to have a cloud-based managed database, then that's what I've got this time around. Go and check them out. It's really interesting to have databases as serverless. So until the next time, thanks for listening.